fucking late on the camera switch. Boys. It's a busy day. I'm like just happy to put a show on today. And I was like, oh, should I do a show? I was like, fuck it, we'll just do it late. We'll do a late one. How's everybody doing? Anybody in California? Hello. You know, it'd be such a different mentality about wars and shit if we were actually getting bombed. Like, imagine how quickly the support... Well, I don't know. Maybe I'd be wrong. Maybe if we actually got hit with some drone strikes, people would be more hardcore. But for me, it'd be like, oh, fuck. Why am I getting hit with the drone strike? What was the point of all this? So now my city's getting hit with drones and shit from some country across that I don't even give a fuck about because you guys wanted to go warmonger. I don't know. That's kind of scary news because people say, how is Iran going to hit California? From what I've been reading, it's the cartels. The cartels are offering to help Iran, the Mexican cartels. So that could get pretty fucking hairy, I think. What's up, everybody? Someone in here, who said that they're going keto and quitting weed at the same time? That's not good. Cyber Twitch, I quit weed and started keto. Sleeping has been awful. Look, I'm sure you can pull off doing both at the same time, but usually you should just do one at a time. Do keto. Once you're comfortable in keto, then you can quit smoking weed. Also, what I did, because, you know, I quit a while back. I mean, I'm not currently, but, I quit for a little bit a while back. CBD, like the Delta 8 shit that's like not even going to really get you high, but it will help you sleep. That worked for me. So I would just, before bed, I would a little bit of CBD, Delta 8 CBD. And yeah, I guess technically that's not quitting, but it's not, you'll be high. I mean, you won't be high from it. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it'll make you sleepy and get some sleep. It did for me. But yeah, good luck on the keto. I want to see, there's a few people that have started keto. I think MMA started keto as well. MMA I'd like to hear some updates from you guys. I want to hear about your weight loss journeys because I need to get motivated to get hardcore again because I've been like, kind of, I've kept eating better than I've always done, but I've not gone full keto in a while. I always fuck up after a couple days and I need to get back into it because getting a little plumpy around the tummy, baby. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Hello, welcome to the show. In California, shout out. I hope you guys got some bomb shelters out there. I don't know, I hope it will be fine, but let's see what they're saying. Let's see what they're saying about old Cali. Let's jump in the news. Hope everybody's doing good. Hello. Links are in the description if you want to support the show. Smash the thumbs up. It's very, very much appreciated. Also, you can send super chats if you want to join the conversation. Well, let's see what they're saying about California. This seems to be the craziest news that came out today.
The FBI warning of possible Iranian drone attacks on our homeland. A new alert reviewed by ABC News revealing Iran's aspirations to conduct a surprise attack specifically against unspecified targets in California. The FBI saying it's warned police departments across the Golden State now of strikes by unmanned aerial vehicles or drones as tensions rise in the Middle East. Let's get straight to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Kontersky. Aaron, what are you learning?
We've reviewed an alert that came within the last couple of weeks, Kira, just recently from the FBI to law enforcement agencies up and down the California coastline, warning that Iran is aspiring now to perhaps launch some kind of a retaliatory attack on the U.S. mainland using drones on the West Coast. The alert that we reviewed said an uncorroborated report suggested that unidentified Mexican cartel leaders had authorized attacks using drones carrying explosives, so they know that capability exists. And this separate alert.
This is why people think I'm like some sort of hippie pacifist. No, let's go wipe out the fucking cartel. Why are we worried about shit on the other side of the world when we have enemies in our fucking hemisphere, like right across the border? I would be not complaining if we were like, okay, we're going to take action against the cartel. And the Mexican government is a puppet of the cartel, so we're going to regime change it. I would feel better about that because that actually affects my life. So yeah, let's start a war with Iran when we have enemies this close, and now that's a we're susceptible. That makes us susceptible. Again, stupid. Jeremy, you said it's not going well. MMA KO TV. Send me a message, brother, because I have experience with it, and let me know what issues you're having, and maybe I can help you. With keto, the hardest part is you have to pretty much. You can order food, but really you need to cook, and that's the hardest part. Is every meal you need to cook or you need to meal prep. That's the hardest part. There are little cheats, there are little things you could do, but finding the right food to cook that you're going to enjoy. That's the hard part. And if you're getting keto flu, remember electrolytes. And if you still have it, you got to push through the hardship. You got to push through it.
That we've
but shout out, hit me up, Jeremy. If I can help, I'll help you.
Has those same kinds of aspirations. So the U.S. has broadly known for some time that drones could be deployed against the homeland. We know that Iran has been using drones significantly in this 12-day-old war with the United States. That's what killed the first 6 U.S. service members in this war. But now the FBI is specifically warning police agencies in California along the Pacific coastline that Iran is aspiring to use them to attack in the West.
Yeah, I'm sure they would fucking love to. It's just, do they have the capability? Are the cartels going to be that stupid? Because it's a pretty dumb move for the cartels to do that, because then you're already a target. If you're fucking helping Iran hit our cities with drone strikes, yeah, forget about it. Forget about it. But yeah, I've been for getting rid of the cartel forever. Like, yeah, all this shit we're doing in Iran, we should be doing it in Mexico against the cartel. And then maybe, if Iran is, starts doing some crazy shit, I don't know. It's just, I'm not happy about this Iran war, boys.
So why
I'm not happy.
California? Why the West?
Good question. And that's not exactly clear, but perhaps.
Because fuck them, that's why.
Perhaps
They all hate the fucking hippies in California too, okay? We're not, us Texans and, non-Californians, we're not the only ones who hate California, obviously.
There's thought that Iran has these things pre-positioned on ships that are still in international waters or that could float through international waters. We know that we've previously reported, Kira, on Iran's desire to perhaps activate sleeper cells in the United States, although that's certainly far from confirmed or far from anything operational as far as law enforcement knows. It's not clear why the West Coast as opposed to the East Coast, but that's what the alert from the FBI says.
Yeah, Northbird, we can do more than one thing at once. What are we doing to the cartels right now? Are we striking the cartels? We did take out their leader, I know, but then they're just replacing with a new leader, and the cartels are still there, and now they're threatening to fucking drone strike us. There's also the thing where, like, it's not very good military strategy to be fighting multiple battles at once. I don't know if you know that. It's kind of good to, like, focus on one battle at a time. Right? Like, kind of what happened to Germany. They stretched themselves too thin. They took on too many fucking fronts. It's just not a good idea. But yeah, okay, we could do multiple things at once. I got you, Nordbaird.
All right, Aaron Katursky, we'll stay on top of it. Thank you so much.
Nordbaird, what did Iran ever do to you? How has Iran made your life harder? I don't know. I just don't give a fuck about Iran. I think it's more fucking warmongering bullshit to make money for the deep state and the fucking blah, 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 blah. It doesn't benefit Americans. Taking out the cartels, that would actually benefit Americans. California Governor Newsome has says his administration is aware of information after FBI warned police. Iran could retaliate with drone attacks on the West Coast. Oh, he's prepared. He's the man for the moment right there, Gavin Newsom.
Concerns as it relates to the broader concern, as it relates to drone strikes, we've been aware of that information. We've been working collaboratively through the SOC, which we established right after the war began, the State Operations Center, working with the Office of Emergency Service, but also working locally to make sure we transmit any information that we have received, and we're aware of that, which has been reported, I think, by ABC7. We're aware of that information, and we transfer that information in real time to our local partners.
Yeah, this is left ear only. This is not a me problem. This is just the way it comes out. So if you're not hearing this, it's because it's only left ear.
Drone issues have been always top of mind, and we've assembled some work groups specifically around those concerns. That's all I'll share at the moment. I have nothing more insightful beyond just what's been reported and how we're transmitting what we know to our local partners, which is critical.
Okay, he looks glassy-eyed. He looks like he's not getting a lot of sleep, or oh, maybe Gavin's smoking the ganja, bro. Smoking the ganja. Here's Alex talking about it.
FBI warns Iran aspired to attack California with drones, retaliation for war. The FBI warned police departments in California in recent days that Iran could retaliate for American attacks by launching drones at the West Coast, according to an alert reviewed by ABC News. Because they could have tankers out there off the coast. We recently acquired information that as of early February this year, Iran allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from the unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States homeland, specifically against unspecified targets in California in the event that the U.S. conducted ground strikes in Iran, according to the alert.
Concerns as it relates to the broader concern, as it relates to drone strikes, we've been aware of that information. We've been working collaboratively through the SOC, which we established right after the war began, the State Operations Center, working with the Office of Emergency Service, but also working locally to make sure we transmit any information that we have.
I love when Alex plays a clip I just played. I was like, I just played this clip.
I broke down the fact that Iran does have sleeper cells in Europe, the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. They're the ones that got real terror cells. But you could also have different factions that want to keep us in the war. They could stage stuff and blame Iran. But if Iran was ever going down their mullahs, they would block the Strait of Hormuz, which they've done, and then activate sleeper cells. And then, of course, it came out a few days ago, the White House put out an alert that they decoded, the Pentagon, a go order for sleeper cells to start attacking the United States.
Some of you support the war with Iran. I get it. Are you willing to go die in Iran? If you're not willing to go, if Iran is not causing you causing you the amount of suffering that you're willing to go to Iran and die, then why would you expect anybody else to? Why would you send soldiers out there to die if you're not willing to? I'm not. I don't give a fuck about Iran. And probably the problems we have in Iran are self-caused. Are they perfect? Are they this or that? Yes. Are they? They're not perfect. They're pretty terrible regime. But if you remember, we've been involved with Iran for a long time. Did Iran come here and try to regime change us in the fucking 70s? This is some shit that, like, this is our own quagmire. I imagine, I could be wrong, but I imagine if we had just ignored Iran and left Iran alone and didn't get involved in their business and didn't bomb them and play all kinds of fucking games, we might not be having any problems with Iran. I don't know. Again, I might be naive, but one thing I'm very sure of is Iran does not affect my life one bit. And I would not be willing to go to Iran to die to regime change some other fucking country I don't give a fuck about. So if you're not willing to go to Iran and lay down your life, then it's not worth it, is it? It's not worth it to start a war if it's just like, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Iran sleeper cells activated, threatened to eliminate Trump. Now we've got this. ABC News. FBI warns Iran aspired to attack California with drones.
Bro, Mikey, we're going to play videos. Mikey says, stop saying they've blocked the strait. Have you seen all the videos coming out of how many ships have been hit in the strait? Bro, all they have to do is scare people. That's all they have to do. They don't even have to hit ships. They just have to release a report saying, hey, we're putting mines in the strait. And then all of a sudden, the insurance companies are like, oh, we can't go through. Like, but now they're actually hitting ships in the strait. So once one ship gets hit, once they even think there's mines out there, it fucks up everything, bro. So I don't know. The Strait of Hormuz is not doing good, brother. I'm sorry.
Retaliation for war. The FBI warned police departments in California in recent days that Iran could retaliate for American attacks by launching drones at the West Coast, according to an alert reviewed by ABC News. Because they could have tankers out there off the coast. We recently acquired information that as of early February this year, Iran allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from the unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States homeland, specifically against unspecified targets in California in the event that the U.S. conducted ground strikes in Iran, according to the alert. Now, you start seeing right after that happen, them closing the airspace down in South Texas. Airspace snafus, Pentagon and FAA agreed to conduct anti-drone laser test. They did a laser test for drones coming across the border.
Oh, remember when they shut down El Paso? Yeah, I forgot all about that. You remember when it was, I forgot how long, but they shut down no flights in and out of El Paso because of, I think that was the thing. There was fear of like a cartel drone coming and doing some sort of attack. So yeah, we do have an enemy right on our border that is pretty capable. I mean, I don't think they have like, you know, they don't have like Hezbollah ability to shoot off like hundreds of rockets at once. But I mean, drones are not that expensive. I'm sure they can send up some fucking drones over here and make our lives pretty shitty. And I'm in Texas, so I'm sure we would be hit.
U.S. military uses laser to down drones, and FAA closes more El Paso airspace. That's what I said. I said I thought it was a drill back at the time for Iranian attacks, and now they're admitting that. So that's the big issue that we've got to be looking at here. And now we're told by the White House 2 days ago that the order has been given for them to strike. Now, Trump suddenly figuring out he's been put in a trap. He was told 4 days, regime change didn't happen. Now he wants an off-ramp. Iran says no, firing more missiles, more drones, attacking ships, sinking ships. Strait of Hormuz is closed. Has Iran really done this? Are we about to see big attacks? Or are we being set up for false flags to then enrage the American public and legitimize this war, get us to go to full war with the 82nd Airborne ready?
Do they need to set up false flags, though? I think they've already set up the circumstances where Iran is going to try to do some shit, okay? So all they have to do, which is what a lot of people think they did with 9/11, is just kind of go, oopsie. Oh, yeah, we had intel about this, but we just, you know, just slipped through the cracks. And then they let some shit happen, and, you know. I don't think you need to create. I mean, Iran's going to try some shit, no doubt about it.
As I first broke, days before they admitted it, into the Iranian side of the Strait of Hormuz. And then we're in full boots on the ground war. So that is just simply insane. But that's where we are. So they use COVID to try to derail the first Trump administration, and now it's a war, as they said they would do. So, see.
And Trump falls right for it, like he always does. Oh, man, I don't know. He does, like, to me, he fucking failed COVID, fell right into their fucking hands, fell for the fucking trap. And this might be another one. And I've said it before, like, this is the perfect one, because a lot of people in MAGA are coping and like, oh, it's fine. No. This is going to really hurt politically, the ambitions of MAGA candidates. And this kills two birds with one stone. You kind of kill off MAGA, and you get your war that you can enrich yourselves off of. It's almost like this is how Republicans basically rob taxpayers, is through war, where Democrats do it through, like, you know, oh, we're going to come up with a plan to help parents pay for childcare, and then they steal money from those funds. Whereas Republicans are like, oh, we're going to go to war in Iran, and that's how we're going to steal money. I don't know. It just feels like money's always being stolen. All this shit is just a fucking grift. What it feels like to me. Another update on InfoWars shutting down. I mean, we've got a lot of these updates. Is it real this time? Is it real this time?
We are back, transmitting worldwide.
I mean, it's always been real, but I think they've gotten stays or whatever. But yeah, I've done episodes where like, oh, it's over. InfoWars is shutting down tomorrow, and then it doesn't shut down, and I'm like, what the fuck? Now I look stupid.
In the twilight of InfoWars. By the way, we've survived so many attacks by the deep state, by the globalists, that when I announced that...
Yeah, Akuma Skill, he says, I spoke with a boomer MAGA friend over the weekend. We love our boomers here. It's enough with the boomer hate, okay? I'm just kidding. I don't know. We have boomers that watch the show, so I love the boomers. And they got money, too, so send super chats, boomers, okay? Put that money to use. I spoke with a boomer MAGA friend over the weekend. He's all for the war and thinks that we're kicking ass. Well, this is a problem with modern-day society, is you can find any news source you want that's going to feed you the news you want, right? So if you're on Fox News, and Fox News is just returning to how it was during Bush. I've been watching much Fox News lately, but I would imagine the little bit I've seen, it's all just cheerleading the war and all positive propaganda about the war. Just like they did under Bush. You know, Hannity was one of the worst. Hannity and Bill fucking O'Reilly. Every day they just fucking, you know, whatever Bush wanted them to do, they did it, you know? And, yeah, I imagine Fox News is returning back to that mindset because they love wars. But yeah, that's the problem with today. You know, you have everybody's in their little echo chamber. You got the MAGA echo chambers. There's a lot of shows I watch that I've seen them become fucking just propaganda, you know? People that I like, that like, I don't know if they feel like they can't say anything. They have to just, everything Trump does is genius 4D chess. And if they have any other angle, like their audience is going to turn, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I mean, you end up in one of those echo chambers and you think everything's fucking perfect. Trump is like a God emperor. And then I'm realizing there's a lot of like Christians who really believe that Trump was appointed by God. Like Trump is a messenger of God. And then once you have that level of religion around your political guy, like he can't do anything wrong. God put him there. God put Trump there. And it's like, fuck. We're crazy too, you know? It ain't just the Muslims that are crazy. We're a little fucking crazy too, as well. You know, if we just let live, let be, let stop fucking with them and trying to do regime change for the 50th fucking time in Iran. I don't know. Maybe they would stop thinking about us. They could live their lives, you know? Who
Texas
knows?
receiver over the company, and the battles we've had in court has come to a head, and they're refusing to let us even sign the contracts for internet, power, everything, and we pushed those contracts out months and months. Now they're saying we've been going month to month for almost a year with some of these contracts. The providers have been very nice, even violated their contracts, let us do that with different internet service providers and things, satellite providers, you name it.
Yeah, Skin Doggy Dog. That's part of the belief there. Skin Doggy Dog says, well, he did survive an assassination attempt by like 2 centimeters. Yeah, and then Trump said, you know, God saved me because God, you know, they all made it into this biblical fucking miracle. And it's like, you know, sometimes shots miss and they graze people. It happens. It's not, is it like, oh, you got lucky as fuck? Yes. But is it a miracle from God? I don't know. It's not for me to say.
Super chatted $4.99. It's all patronage, dog. Gob will tell you.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. Thank you for the $5. I don't know. I just, look, I believe in a God, but I have a very humble view when it comes to God, which is we have no fucking clue. Nobody really knows. We're all ants looking up at the sky, trying to figure out, oh, what's that? You know, it's like, we don't fucking know. We're mostly incapable of comprehending. And I know people will disagree with that, but that's how I see it. And when it's like, dude, he's just a human. Trump is just a human and he's capable of making mistakes. And when he makes mistakes and gets us into a war we all wanted to avoid and voted for him to specifically avoid, then yeah, you got to call it out, bro. You got to call it out. You can't be a cheerleader and just be like, oh, it's Trump and he's 4D chess. You don't understand. He's so amazing and God appointed him. It's like, oh, what the fuck, bro? I don't know. I don't like that type of thinking, man. Thank you for the $5, brother.
And now they're just like, nope, you can't spend the money on that. And so they're just pulling the plug on us. And maybe I could extend out to the end of April, but really, we may get cut off before then in the next few weeks as systems turn off. Just because they're not letting us spend the money. The money's there. And the reason they're doing this is, and I'm going to go to your calls. Well, I'm going to go to your calls. In the next hour, I'll do a major update on the future of InfoWars.
I keep interrupting this, but Alex is talking. I think next month is supposed to be when they're going to get shut down. For real this time.
But I need listeners to understand that you go to Real Alex Jones on X, you go to Rumble, the Alex Jones Show. That's where you'll find us when we get shut down, the new news sites, the things that have been built, the things that have been done. And it's very important to support the AlexJonesStore.com because it's funding InfoWars. But when InfoWars shuts down, it is the main sponsor and owns the Alex Jones Network.
I think his dad owns all that, right? So he
because
gets around that.
The way this is set up, I can't own a company with the fake dischargeable judgments. Now, we have it on appeal with the Supreme Court. It's going to get shut down there. They've got big problems, and they're not even able to come in and get InfoWars and even the equipment and stuff. The courts have said at the federal court they can't do that. But the state court with Judge Gloria Gamble, the literal Antifa-Soros judge, says she doesn't care. And so they're just going to pull the plug like they did before, sending in a federal receiver, federal trustee saying close the doors without a court order. The judge shut that down a year and a half ago. And then they had a fake auction with a new U.S. trustee they brought in, and that got shut down. So we've survived a lot of crazy stuff. So there becomes this normalcy bias, like when grandpa's had cancer for 6 years and keeps living, keeps having surgeries, and you're at his house one day eating dinner with him, and he's fine. You play dominoes with him, and you get a call 3 days later, grandpa's dead. So just, this is the real deal.
That's one hell of an analogy, bro. I mean, that hits home because we've all, if you live long enough, you've all had this story where it's like, it's just crazy how fast people can go. It's like, one day they're talking, they're normal, they're standing up, they're eating, and then, you're having a laugh, and then the next day they're just, boop, dead, gone. It's hard to wrap your head around that. But yeah, I hope Alex figures this out. I hope that the appeals end up at the Supreme Court and they do the right thing, because this is a travesty of justice. If they were just looking for money, they should, like a $1 million fine or something, it would have been like, okay, this is fucking insane what they're doing to InfoWars.
If you got grazed on the dome like Donny Boy, would you say, thank God?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I would or wouldn't. I don't know what I'd say in that situation, but thank God would be something that is very likely to come out of somebody's mouth who just got grazed. But does that mean God chose you? God chose you, so God chose you, but the other guy, if you say you're in a foxhole and the guy next to you gets his head blown off, and it just grazes your helmet, knocks your helmet off, and you live. Did God chose you to live and chose him to die? Is God sitting there going, you dead, you live? Let me think about it. You die. Next. Okay. You know what? How about you just lose a leg? Okay, next. I don't think it works that way, bro. I think God puts us here. We have free will. And randomness is a definite part of our life, Like you could be walking to the fucking store and plane fucking something falls off a plane flying above and it comes and slams you in your head and you're dead. Did God choose that, or is that just the randomness of this existence?
At ST.0 Neon super chatted $2 Brazilians.
Yeah, the Brazilians. I'm on to that. I know what you mean. I don't think you mean Brazilian, Saint Onion. I don't think you do. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's a little creepy when everybody sees a human like Trump as like appointed by God and can do no wrong. And even when he does the thing, everybody was like, oh, please don't do that. No new wars. I mean, one of the most popular things he ran on, which probably got him a lot of support from independents and left-leaning fucking centrists. And then, all of a sudden, oh, it's war. It's like, yeah, I mean, shit. I was willing to put up with a lot of shit from Trump. Okay? Because, yeah, he's better than the left. He's one of the few people that will talk about lowering taxes. One of the few people that will talk about and actually do something about our border issues. But yeah, I mean, fuck, I cannot sit back and just be like, oh, this is great. This is great. Let's go to war with Iran. This is great. This is great. Let's get in more Middle East wars. And like, no, dude, I have to say it's bullshit. But hopefully it'll all work out. It'll all be beautiful. And, Iran will be a prosperous, wonderful, democratic nation, and it'll be our friend, and we never have to worry. It's like, yeah, it's probably not going to go that way. We're probably going to end up with an even more radical Iran, which is what happens every time we fuck with their business, which we've been doing for what, 50 years now? 50 fucking years? Yeah. Anyway, I hope InfoWars makes it. We got some more. If officials downplay risk of Iranian drone attacks against California. Let's see. It's CBS News. Let's see what they're saying.
An FBI warning to West Coast law enforcement about a potential
Thank you for the super chats,
attack
guys.
by Iran targeting California. The memo says the FBI recently acquired information that as of early February 2026, Iran allegedly conspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States. Now, the United States and Israel launched its first attacks of this war with Iran at the end of February. CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Skanga has the latest on this new FBI warning.
Multiple U.S. and California law enforcement and intelligence officials told CBS News there is no known credible specific threat underpinning that alert, no information giving on the time, source, method, or target of any such attack. Tony, this information shared last week with local law enforcement by the FBI's Los Angeles division stems from an apparent tip in early February that surfaced prior to the war with Iran about unmanned aerial vehicles off the coast of the U.S. homeland. In a tweet, California Governor Gavin Newsome echoed that sentiment, saying, quote, "While we are not aware of any..."
Bro, if they do figure out a way to get drones into our lands, that's going to change life as we know it for us, dude. Because we live in this fucking little bubble of like, oh, nothing could ever happen to us. Oh, all this shit that's going on, Israel being bombed, all Lebanon and Iran and all these Gulf countries. Oh, that'll never happen to us. If they find a way, bro. Here's the thing. Do we have Patriot missiles ready to go? Interceptors ready to go in America? I hope we do. Do we have bomb shelters like Israel does? I don't think we do. Do you know where are you going to go, guys? Do you guys know where the local bomb shelter is for you if a fucking drone's coming? No, yeah, there's no bomb shelters. Okay. Not for us, fucking, normies. I'm sure, Bill Gates and them, they got their fucking little bunkers. And isn't that kind of terrifying how all these billionaires are building these like super expensive underground bunkers? Like they almost know something's coming. Yeah, I'm sure everything will be fine, guys.
Imminent threat.
I'm sure it
at
will.
this time, we remain prepared for any emergency in our state. All of this comes at a tenuous time for our nation's security on the 26th day of a DHS government shutdown that has left security officials working without pay. The FBI offered no comment.
Nicole Skanga, thank you. Joining us now is former FBI
Did she say Nicole Skankhunt? That's a nice name, Skankhunt.
Special Agent Jeff Harp. Jeff, give us some context about these warnings.
Sure, Juliet. So as you know, post 9/11, there has been a big emphasis on information sharing. And so we look at this memo, we understand that this information was obtained or somehow gotten to the FBI back in February. We've had ongoing conflicts and sort of aggressive behavior between us and Iran. It didn't just now start. So these investigations that the FBI has are ongoing, and they collect that information over time, and they have a variety of sources, human sources, specific electronic surveillance. So they collect those things. If they have a specific threat, that goes out in a bulletin. If they have information that they think is likely to alert the public or law enforcement of a possibility of a threat, that goes out in a bulletin. Now, these bulletins don't say, hey, it's going to happen tonight, tomorrow, the next day. What it says is they have information they've obtained from a source or somewhere that says someone's talking about this. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, and it doesn't mean they have like highly credible information.
So with that said, how do law enforcement agencies react to a type of warning like this?
Well, the big thing that happens now is obviously this law enforcement only bulletin has gotten into the hands of the public. It really helps out the FBI and everybody else with their security posture, because now people are going to be more on alert for something suspicious. Law enforcement gets these things in advance. It allows them to look at them, sort of gather their thoughts and what their tactics might be to explore possible investigations they have.
I like how they're trying to downplay it. Like, why would the FBI put out the warning to California unless it was a legitimate threat? Why would you go and scare the fuck out of everybody and put out a warning like that unless it's a legitimate threat? I don't know. I think there's some legitimacy to this.
Now, you've got officers that sit on.
And FYI, we just took out the fucking head of the cartel, so they're probably pissed off looking for revenge as well. So
Joint Terrorism Task Force across all 56 field offices. So those guys are allowed to go back and brief their command staff on what they see, the memos they have internally to all the cleared personnel. So it's not something earth-shattering or that we should be alarmed about. I think it's good that the memo went out. There is information out there. It's just going to make people more aware of their surroundings.
yeah, don't be alarmed, guys. You're more aware of the possibility that drones could come and blow you the fuck up. Drones really are changing everything, because you think about, even if it's just like a sleeper cell, what's stopping them from buying some drone and rigging it with some boom boom shit? And they could, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
True. Now, that's information
Seems
coming out
sketchy.
today certainly can create a fury of fear and worry. So I want to talk about the memo and the timing of it. The memo says the FBI had this information as early as February. In context, the war started at the end of the month. So what do you make of the timing?
Well, I make of the fact that they had it in February. It got released now, probably because, and it got released by the Los Angeles JRIC. That's the fusion center down there. I worked with them very closely. They got the information. We're in a conflict with Iran right now. So now is not a bad time to put it out. Certainly, if you look at Los Angeles and the Bay Area and California in general, we have a substantial Iranian population. If there were sleeper cells or those opposed to any conflict with Iran to do harm to the U.S. or interests, then you would likely send something out to the communities and the law enforcement agencies that operate within those AORs.
All right, Jeff Hart, appreciate your time and insight. Thanks.
Nobody knows what fucking AOR means, bro. Stop with your fucking lingo and speak to us like in a way we get. What the fuck is AOR? Area of reconnaissance? What is AOR? I need to look this up. What is AOR? Album-oriented rock. Area of responsibility. Okay, yeah. AOR. We don't know what AOR means, retard. You're speaking to Americans. We don't know all the lingo, okay? Oh, yeah, you seem so smart now using big fucking terms. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Iran targets Dubai again. Reports of an Iranian drone attack near Dubai International Airport. So we got a bunch of clips. Yeah. So it looks like they're still attacking Dubai. We got here. Just in, Iran tells the U.S. it will not be able to artificially lower the price of oil and energy. Prepare for $200 per barrel. That's got to be obviously one of their tactics to cause as much mayhem in the oil markets as possible, because they know that's a good way to get this ramped down real quick. Or I don't know, maybe Trump don't care anymore. Maybe he doesn't care if it's $200 a barrel. I don't know.
شما باید بدانید که نخواهید توانست قیمت نفت و انرژی را با تنفس مصنوعی پایین بیاورید که با گسترش جنگ در منطقه اعلام کردیم منتظر بشکه‌ای $200 باشید چون قیمت نفت تابع امنیت در منطقه است.
Dude, what is it, $8 a gallon in California because of how much it's gone up plus the taxes in California? How much would gas be at $200 a barrel? What would that be like? I think $100 a barrel is like what, $3 or $4, something like that in Texas. So it'd probably be what, $7, $8 at $200 a barrel. I don't know. I gotta look that up.
که منشأ ناامنی شما هستید.
But that'll be great, because that doesn't affect the price of goods, right? Oil going to $200 a barrel, and the whole thing we were voting for is to get the price of goods down. But let's start a war and get the price of goods up and make the world safe. That's what we wanted. That's what we voted for. Deucey, if Iran tries to hit us back, have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now? Trump, I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border, but we know most of them are. But we know where most of them are. Okay, yeah, keep blaming Biden. Okay, Biden didn't start the fucking war with Iran and increase the risk of this shit happening. But okay.
And if they try to hit us back, have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
Is it dozens?
Okay, well then, You got your eye on all of them. You know why are they not gone right now? Why are you not perp walking them going, hey, we got these sleeper cells and we're removing them from the country right now? Or we're locking them up in Guantanamo fucking Bay. Or wherever you lock them up now. No, we know where they are. We're just sitting back watching them, waiting for them to blow some shit up. What the fuck? Did you really just say that?
And if they try to hit us back, have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
You know they don't have their eye on all of them. And he's the guy who's going back on mass deportations now. Like, they're quietly behind the scenes saying, stop talking about mass deportations. Maybe we need to actually really focus on mass deportations. And all these guys that you apparently have eyes on that came in under Biden illegally, that have some loyalty to Iran, maybe it's a good time to get them the fuck out if you want to wage a war with Iran, bro. I don't know. Just spitballing.
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst president in the history of our country.
This shit always annoys me. It's like, yes, Biden sucked, but I get tired of fucking presidents doing this. Obama did it for like 8 years. Obama would everything was he'd bring up George Bush. Well, because of George Bush, because it's like that was 8 years ago. Okay, you're the president now. We don't give a fuck about Bush now. We want to hear what you're going to do about it. But yeah, just go back to your campaign talking points.
And we've got our eyes on all of them. But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's so amazing. So amazing to watch. So fucking amazing, bro. I love it. I love it when we drop bombs on fucking schools and kill a bunch of children. Oh, it's so amazing. It's amazing to watch. Trump on Iran, they're pretty much at the end of the line. It doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately. Of course not. But they've got no Navy. They've got no Air Force. They have no systems of control. But yet they're still shooting rockets off everywhere. So, yeah, it kind of like doesn't matter all that other shit if they still have the capability of hitting other countries with missiles. That might be the actual thing you need to shut down in Iran. But somehow they're defeated, but yet they're still attacking. So that makes sense.
They are pretty much at the end of the line. Doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately, but they've got no Navy, they've got no Air Force, they've got no anti-air traffic, anything. They have no systems of control. We're just riding free range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the Straits. The Straits are in great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape.
See, people hear this shit and they take it. It's like, oh, okay, I guess you hear this, but then you don't see all the footage of ships getting hit, oil tanker getting hit. Well, this is not the Straits, Persian Gulf. Oil tanker, Persian Gulf. Hezbollah fires 100 rockets into northern Israel. 50 of them get through. Iran strikes a Thai ship. All they got to do is hit one ship passing the Hormuz and it shuts it all down because no one's going to take that chance to take all of that fucking money, all that oil, all the money that represents and risk losing that shit. Okay, but that wasn't just that one. 3 cargo vessels have been attacked by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. Hillary's now a fan of Trump. What does that tell you? Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going so great, guys. I mean, if you listen to Trump, you're not getting the full picture because Trump does what Trump does. He spins everything to make it seem fucking amazing, even when it's not.
The main thing is we have to win this. They win it quickly, but win it. And there are many people, I'm just watching some of the news. Most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop?
When you stop Iran from shooting missiles at everybody in the fucking area? Maybe? Because that's the thing. They could say they won as much as they want, but if Iran is still hitting countries with missiles, the war ain't over. So you got to get Iran to stop doing that. So there's no way you can end the war. And Iran does not look like they want to end the war. Iran is pissed the fuck off. As I would be. If you came into my country and murdered my leader and fucking bombed schools and blew up oil facilities and made it look like Armageddon, like, yeah, Iran's ready to fight. They're not ready to give up.
We don't want to let it regrow. and ideally would like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing. In other words, they can build a country. Now,
So in 30 years, we can come and kill him and start all over again.
other thing, we can hit sections of Tehran and other places that, if you do it, it'll be almost impossible for them to rebuild their country. And we don't want that. But we can hit electric, we could take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour, and it would take them 25 years to rebuild it. So ideally, we're not going to be doing that. They are.
Yeah, so let's destroy Iran so that it becomes a fucking complete hellhole. And yeah, it's gonna make the world safer, guys. Let's destroy all of Iran and then leave it in rubble, and let them fight civil wars for the next who knows how many years, and that's gonna make the world safer, right? Man, it's so fucking retarded, and it is. I'm sorry, it's a complete betrayal to MAGA and what MAGA stood for. A new report says that a military investigation has found that the U.S. struck the school in Iran as commander-in-chief. Do you take responsibility? I don't know. This would be, if I was president and this happened, and I know this happened because of whether I pushed the button that shot the missile off, I started this war, and my actions led to this happening, this would weigh heavy on my conscience. But let's see if it weighs heavy on Trump's.
Shows a new report says that the military investigation has found that the United States struck the school in Iran. As commander-in-chief, do you take responsibility for that?
That is what?
As commander-in-chief, do you...
For what?
For the strike on the school in Iran. A new report says the military investigation has found it was the United States that struck the school.
I don't know about it.
Yeah, I imagine he must feel something, bro. I don't think Trump's heartless. I think he made a mistake. I think he made the mistake that should have been easily avoided, because if you listen to him talk when he started running, early on, listen to what he talked about Lindsey Graham, listen to the way he talked about neocons. He knew what they were about, but yet he still invited them in, and he still made them his closest advisors, and here we are. So I think Trump has a heart, but he's also, I don't know. Maybe it's because Jared Kushner is family and he just trusts Jared Kushner because he's married to his daughter. By the way, we need to save Ivanka. She's too beautiful to be with that fucking fruity piece of shit. But I don't know, man. This is such an obvious mistake that was so easily avoidable, especially when Trump knows better. I'd like to know. I'd like to know all the behind the scenes of how they got him to betray his entire message and his entire movement. And I imagine this is weighing heavy on him. I imagine behind the scenes, he's probably not happy. Trump on Iran, we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You never like to say too early, you won. We won. We won the bet in the first hour. It was over.
And as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury. Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You can only do. And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. But we won. But they gave me a list of names that, sir, you can pick.
I don't think Bush would even have the balls to have done mission accomplished with Iraq if Iraq was sitting there shooting missiles into other countries and still fighting back. I don't even think Bush would have that level of fucking balls to be like, yeah, we won. Oh, but sir, 50 missiles just landed in Israel today. No, we won. They're still shooting missiles, sir.
The name you'd like, sir? I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name.
I wonder if as president it's just tempting, like you have all of these, like you want to play war. It's like a video game. Who gets the opportunity to command a fucking giant military? I mean, I'm going to go 8 years and never use it and fucking blow some shit up. I don't know if people think that way, but I wonder. An Epic Fury, I'm sorry. Sounds like a fucking middle schooler named the war. Operation Epic Fury. Operation Operation Gas $4 a gallon. Operation Fuck MAGA. Operation I'm now a neocon.
And my administration, as you know better than anybody, is also working to keep the oil flowing. It's flowing all over. We knocked out, they want to drop some mines. Very friendly people, mines, so boats blow up. And we knocked out every hour I have to change because they knock them out so fast. I've never seen anything. Think of it. They knocked out 54 ships in 2 days, and they're real ships. In fact, I got angry at my people. I said, are they any good? Yeah, they're warships. I said, why the hell did we kill them? Why didn't we just capture them and use them in our Navy? They said they wouldn't have qualified for that. But I got a little upset with my people. I said, why do we have to knock them? And actually, one of my generals said, sir, it's a lot more fun doing it this way. But we knocked out 58 naval ships. We knocked out their Navy, okay? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, their Navy is a joke. That's not where their strength is. Their strength lies in these little fucking mobile missile trucks or whatever that they can just fucking... That's why they're still shooting. So, okay, great. You took out their Navy. Are they still shooting missiles at everybody? Yes. Okay, so job's clearly not done yet.
But they also knocked out the mine layers. They call them mine layers. They put mines in the water. Lovely job. Isn't that nice? Blow up ships. And we knocked out 31 of them. And I was very proud of myself. I said, why did you use the weapon that we use on the drugs that come in by sea? Do you know that drugs by sea are down 98%? And I said, that's a hell of a weapon. And they said, well, give it a shot. It worked very well. We've knocked out, I think, 28 or 29. All of them, almost all of them. They'll all be gone. By the time I'm finished speaking, they'll be gone. These people work very fast. But I'm pleased to report that earlier today, the International Energy Agency agreed to coordinate the release of a record 400 million barrels of oil from various national petroleum.
And by the way, did the cost of oil go down? No, they released all that and it went sideways. That's kind of scary. You could flood the market with all these reserves and the price doesn't even go down. It just stays steady. I hope Iran is not wrong when they're threatening to put us, because that is part of their strategy, to cause as much damage to the oil infrastructure so that the cost of oil, the cost of energy goes through the roof. And if it gets bad here, it's going to be extremely bad in other countries. Extremely bad. And it might even drive China to having to join the war, because it might really get really bad in China. So this is a strategy that might work for Iran.
Reserves around the world, which will substantially reduce the oil prices as we end this threat to America and this threat to the world. We don't want to leave early, do we? Huh? We got to finish the job.
Really, who did Iran invade? What country did Iran invade? Because usually the threats are the countries that are invading other countries, right? And then people try to compare this to World War II, like, oh, World War II. Like, yeah, okay, World War II. Okay, that was a time where, we had Pearl Harbor, we got attacked, we had Germany invading countries, committing atrocities. Who's the one invading countries right now? Is Iran invading countries? We all know who the invader is right now, don't we? Although we're not invading, we're just bombing from the sky and destroying everything. So that makes it okay.
Right?
Wonderful. Video shot in northern Israel tonight of Iranian missiles raining down. And one thing the algorithm does not like is any footage of missiles hitting Israel. They try to hide this shit. So this will be demonetization for this video, so please support the channel. Links are in the description. What is going on with these Israelis? Why are they so excited about their own country being bombed? Like, these guys don't seem terrified at all. They're just like, oh boy, oh look, oh, it's fireworks show. How do you want to... Like, bro, what the fuck? You seem a little too happy about this. I don't know, maybe because this is, going to bring in their fucking whatever promised biblical bullshit that they're so happy about.
וואו! נפל פה באמא. איזה נפילה. נפל. נפל. עוד אחד. אבל אחי.
So the report I saw, Hezbollah shot 100 missiles. 50 of them got through. They're not Israelis? I don't know. I mean, they're in northern Israel. Oh, yeah, but they could be, yeah, not everybody's an Israeli that's in that area. So, yeah, who knows?
בוא תראה איציק. איציק, הלך הבאגה. כל אלה איפה נופלים? תראה. תסתכל ימינה, נופלים פה איתם. וואו. יו. וואו.
Are these Gazans? Are they watching from Gaza? I wonder how Gazans feel about this, the Palestinians. After the shit they've been through, they're just sitting back watching Israel get hit now, and they're like, yep. I don't know, man. I don't know. Fuck. What a world. What a world. We voted for Trump to try to avoid this shit and stop the warmongering, and let's focus on America first. Let's fix our problems here. And this is what we get. It's going to blackpill so many people from voting. I mean, this is like, how many times am I going to fucking think I'm solving the problem just to have the fucking rug pulled out from under me? Yeah. Yeah, they seem pretty excited about it. I guess there's nothing good on television, so they're like, let's go watch the fireworks show. Breaking oil tanker on fire after being attacked in the Persian Gulf. So this is part of the strategy to just stop as many shipments of oil going around, and then that's going to put so much pressure on other countries to put pressure on us to stop this shit. Because again, if it gets bad for us, it's going to get so much worse for other countries. And it's going to be a serious, serious issue. Yeah, things are fine. Don't be a pussy. Just go through. Yeah, just keep shipping oil. It's all right. I mean, who cares? Like 3 ships got blown up and you can't get insurance and you could lose your entire investment and people could die. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. And a lot of people see AI has also made it so people can see footage like this and just completely deny and go, oh, it's more AI. It's more AI. It's AI. It just makes it so much easier for people to just deny what's right in front of them because AI, it's AI. Oh, it's fucking AI. Iran made this. More footage. A large oil tanker fire rages in the Persian Gulf. Yeah, that's a sight to behold right there, ain't it? Insane footage as Hezbollah fires 100 rockets into northern Israel. Yeah, this is the one we already saw, right? Yeah, we saw that one already. Breaking, Iran strikes a Thai ship attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. People are saying like, ooh, China's going to be pissed. I don't think, even if Iran accidentally takes out a Chinese ship, I'm sure they'll probably talk to Iran behind the scenes and be like, dude, what the fuck? But I don't think China is going to abandon Iran, even if Iran accidentally takes out a few Chinese ships. But maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, Iran strikes a Thai ship attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Thai authorities said the bulk carrier Mayuri Nari, sailing under the Thailand flag, was struck by projectiles while traveling about 18 kilometers north of Oman. So yeah, guys, just don't be a pussy. Go through the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, you can't, well, America says we're going to insure it, but can you really trust that we're going to do that? Or are we just saying we are? And then fucking, don't be a pussy. Breaking, 3 cargo vessels have been attacked by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. 2 of them were damaged while a fire broke out on the 3rd one, forcing the crew to abandon ship. So, in my opinion, just Iran threatening to attack ships and saying we're laying mines is enough to shut it down. Now that they're actually fucking attacking ships, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the cost of oil will go down tomorrow. We'll see. Hillary praises Trump. Do you see it now? Guys, my fellow MAGA supporters, do you see it yet? Hillary praises Trump. I don't know if you don't see it yet. I don't know. Hillary praises Trump and says he's much better in his second term. I think all of that is a very good signal that there's beginning to be a better understanding, both by the president and the people around him, that there can be common ground amongst us. Yes, just continue our warmongering. All of it is about fucking Russia and China, and it's like, oh. Because if Hillary Clinton was in there, we'd probably be in World War III with Russia right now. That's what she wants.
I think all of that is a very good signal that...
Yeah, and the audio's out of sync on this one, so...
There is beginning to be a better understanding, both by the president and the people around him, as well as by the leaders of our European allies, that there can be common ground amongst us. And the kind of dismissiveness that we saw in the first Trump administration has been replaced by a much more obvious working relationship to the good of European security, transatlantic security, and hopefully Ukrainian security. So I'm actually encouraged.
If Hillary Clinton is happy about what Trump's doing, guys, do you not understand what is happening here? We have lost Trump to the swamp. We have lost Trump to the deep state, to the neocons. We've lost him. He's no longer MAGA. He's not MAGA anymore. I'm sorry, that's just the reality. Yeah, so Joe's talking more about Iran. He brought on the trigonometry, Konstantin Kizin and Francis Foster. And a lot of people are pretty upset about this. I haven't watched it yet. People are like, why does he keep bringing on these like pro-war types? I don't know.
No, I was listening to Tim Dillon's podcast today. He's got a great podcast with Ryan Grimm and one other gentleman. But one of the things that they brought up was that some of these drone attacks, it doesn't even seem like they're from Iran. Some of these drone attacks on Gulf states. Like that.
Iran's claiming that too. There's a few, I think it was maybe the one in Oman. Iran's like, we didn't do this. This is suspicious. Somebody else did this. I don't know if I can trust him. I think Iran is the one doing it, but I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there that'd be like, actually, it is Israel doing it just to drag these up. Because if Israel figures if they could hit these other Gulf states and make them think Iran did it, that can bring them in on Israel's side. I don't know. Again, fog of war. Hard to know what's what.
One of them.
Guys, is my audio good? I keep getting these errors about my audio. Audio's good, right? Right? Let me know if the audio's not good.
I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm not exactly sure which ones they're talking about. They're talking about one of them on either it's a oil refinery. I think it is an oil refinery. That it doesn't seem like it came from Iran. So okay,
where did it come from?
That's a good question.
One of their proxies?
That's a good question. Well, the fear is a false flag. That's the fear. Like if you really wanted to get really scared of what we were dragged into, you're dragged into an ally that's not telling you the truth and is also doing
audio good. Thank you, guys.
Some other stuff.
Well,
I'm not even saying that that's the case, but a lot of people are assuming that that's what it is.
But that's what happens when you have an absence of information.
Right.
Yeah. And so the moment you have an absence of information, there's a vacuum. And nature abhors a vacuum. You need to have that vacuum filled. So that's where conspiracies naturally flourish. Because
100%.
Because if people don't have information, then they're going to basically theorize.
Right.
And part of people theorizing is conspiracies are going to start flourishing.
Well, I think they were basing it on where the drone came from. Like, let's see if we can find some information on that, Jamie.
I will try. I know it was Jeremy Scahill was the other
That's right.
reporter on the video.
I just find it amazing now how many people have like a hard take on like what's going. I'm like, we don't know a fucking thing about what's going. Like the coin is in the air, right? And we do not know how it's going to. But everyone's got a take. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Oh, because we lived through this, retard. We lived through this exact thing already, and we're doing the same thing again. And you can. This might be one of the the rare times that you don't get a typical result and you get a different result. But most of the time, the results are pretty typical with this type of shit. Okay, and it's not worth it. It's as simple as that. It's not worth it, bro.
Like we do not fucking. I don't think anyone knows. Like I understand if you if you work at the White House, or if you work in Russian propaganda, or you work in Chinese propaganda, like, or if you work in Iranian, like you've got to get your point of view across to try and persuade people.
Right.
But if you're actually trying to work out what's genuinely happening, I don't think anyone knows how. This is a gamble of gigantic proportions,
Right.
and nobody knows how it's going to end. It's just so unpredictable. And I can tell you a great story that is like positive for the West, let's say, or for America. I can tell you a terrible story, and they both sound very convincing, and no one knows which one of them is true.
Yeah, that's a very good point. This is the hot take culture, right?
Right.
Everyone has a take, and they want that take to be the expert take. So specific drone attack incidents that call potential false flags. Saudi Arabia, Saudi Aramco, oil facility attack. So Iranian officials deny striking the Saudi Aramco processing facility and instead suggest Israel may have carried out that attack as a false flag to inflame Gulf opinion and pull Saudi Arabia more directly into the war with Iran. So Ryan Grimm explicitly says he thinks Iran's claims that Israel hit the Aramco facility need to be taken seriously, and that it's very possible Israel did it. And this was the other one, the drone strike on the British base in Cyprus.
That was from Lebanon, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
May have come from the direction of Lebanon. He places this in the same context of Iran claiming Israel carried out certain attacks in neighboring states as false flags to blame in Iran and drag those countries into the war. Yeah.
Those countries, this doesn't make any logical sense to me because those countries are already in the war. I mean, Saudi Arabia and UAE have been attacked by Iran because they were on the phone to Trump basically asking him to do this.
This is another weird one, the Tucker Carlson one. You saw that, right?
No.
So Tucker Carlson said that
the alleged Mossad,
they had been arrested. The members of Mossad have been arrested in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. So
but both Qatar and Saudi Arabia have said it's not true.
Yeah, they've officially denied such arrests. Their own Saudi sources also denied it, though they note details don't prove it didn't happen, and that states would almost certainly hide such arrests if real. Well,
the thing, Joe, is that these countries, so Saudi Arabia and UAE, Qatar less so, they want this to happen because they also hate Iran or the Iranian regime.
Right.
So
there's reports that Saudi Arabia was behind the scenes really pushing for this. So... yeah, I wonder.
There is no need for Israel, even if if people are tempted to believe, there's no need for Israel to do this because these countries are already in it.
Right.
And that one of the reasons that Iran has attacked things in Saudi Arabia and in the UAE is they know that, right?
Right. So
the Gulf countries are on board with this.
Right. So what would be if let's assume that the false flag thing, that it's in play. Why would Israel, how would they benefit from doing that?
That's what I'm saying. There is no rationale that I can think of.
The people that think the false flag is real, like, why do they think that? Like, what do they think that Israel would benefit from it? Is there a scenario where you can imagine it would inflame things and further support other countries contributing to the... I mean, there's a lot of money that's being spent on this war, right? It's like this is an insane amount of money just for munitions, just for missiles.
Yeah. And then rebuilding Iran if we get to that, right?
Maybe another resort?
Yeah. But I just don't see the rationale because the Gulf countries are already targets for Iran.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I figured I'd play that one. What's this one? Some reports are claiming possible use of a non-nuclear electromagnetic pulse weapon in Iran. These are different to high-altitude nuclear EMP, which blankets huge areas and causes widespread blackouts. They have no big blast or radiation spike. This looks like something huge, whatever this is. This is gigantic. This is in Iran.
یا خدا آسمونو
Yeah. People were speculating it was a nuclear strike, but I don't think they agree that it's nuclear. But it's something big, man. Something big. What's going on with fucking... Dude, this video popped up searching for Iran. I haven't seen Styx Hexenhammer in a while. What the fuck happened to Styx, bro?
All right, everyone.
What happened to him? He's missing a fucking tooth? He's got a fucking lisp now because he's got no tooth. Sticks, please, brother. Take care of yourself, dude. His hair doesn't look like he's shampooed his hair in like it's okay, you don't have to shampoo your hair every day. But like at least like maybe once a week or so. Actually, you can over shampoo, it removes all the oils from your hair. Like whenever I shampoo my hair, it looks like shit for a couple days before it kind of gets its hold back. I don't know what's going on with Sticks, man. But I used to watch the shit out of this guy back in like 2016.
Start off today, of course, talking about Iran.
And what happened? Did he just what happened to his tooth? Does anybody know what happened to his tooth?
The Iranian military basically has been decimated by the United States.
He got punched in the... Was it another one of his crazy bitches? Dude, when I saw this shit was happening a while back, I was like, dude, you got to stop with the crazy bitches and the booze. That is a combination that will destroy you, okay? Like, being an alcoholic's bad enough. You add crazy alcoholic women to that equation? Isn't he going to jail too? Like... Didn't he? Dude, I don't know, man. I feel bad for Sticks.
And various other
I guess this is what you get when you worship the devil. This is why you shouldn't worship the devil.
Within the region.
I don't know if he actually worships the devil, but you know what I'm saying. He does do black magic and voodoo and shit, doesn't he?
This is a war, not a conflict. There is no such thing. That's soft language, as Carlin would term it. It's war. You're bombing people. What else are you gonna fucking call it? Now,
I like getting my military strategy from a pirate.
Now, I'm going to give you the good and the bad news, and please bear with me. This will be a new one.
That's what this. I think he was already in jail. Did he get? Was the fight in jail or was it one of his crazy bitches? He was OG. Yeah, dude, Sticks was so on the money in 2016. He's a fucking intelligent guy, bro. There's no doubting it. Like, he's intelligent. His ability to like absorb the news and like is high level. But I don't know, man. He's obviously not doing well.
This video, so you might hear something that I say that you highly disagree with, but then you might hear something that you highly agree with. Here's the bad news. The bad news is that it doesn't appear that the Iranian leadership change is really going to lead to anything.
So a woman did this to him? I need to find a good spot where, yeah. A woman did that to Sticks? Women are dangerous, bro. Women can fuck you up. And the problem is you can't fight back. Like, a woman can knock a fucking tooth out of your head. And if you fight back, you're the one going to jail. This is why you need good women, okay? You need good women. You're better off with no women. You're better off beating your fucking meat every night than hooking up with some fucking drunken, crazy bitch who's gonna fucking fucking rear back and drop you one right in the face and completely ruin your smile and give you this for the rest of your life. You're going to talk like this. We're going to split this. So yeah. You'd been better off being single and just beating your fucking meat, bro. Okay? But I guess some dudes can't do it. They just can't fucking do it.
Possible, maybe, but I don't really see any signs that that's going to happen. Secondly,
I do want to know, is he for the war? Is he still I would think Sticks, knowing who he is and knowing how anti-war he is and against all the fucking neocon warmongering, is he flipping on Trump now too?
Additional bad news is that it's going to throttle the oil supply through the Strait of Hormuz. That's not necessarily ideal, my friend. The good news is that the United States...
Is he drunk right now too? He seems like he might be drunk. Yeah, praise for Sticks. He needs to find Jesus. I don't know what he needs to find, but he needs to find something. America-owned oil tanker struck by explosive drone boats near Iraqi waters. Okay, this is an American. This is the same one we saw earlier? Yeah, I think that's the same one we saw earlier, but I didn't know it was American. American-owned oil tanker. Wonderful. Here's Trump talking about the straits. And I think people are not seeing the footage of the ships being attacked, and they're just listening to Trump say this shit, and they're going off what Trump's saying.
Buy oil futures as a means to keep the oil prices down or bring the oil prices
what's happening. They are pretty much at the end of the line. Doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately, but they've got no Navy, they've got no Air Force, they've got no anti-air traffic, anything. They have no systems of control. We're just riding free range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the Straits. The Straits are in great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape. The
Treasury Department by order.
Bro, until ships know 100% that they can go through that strait and there's no risk of being attacked, it's going to fuck with oil prices. If there's just any chance of attack still happening, people are not going to take the risk, bro. I don't know. It feels like cope to me. Breaking, Trump says he started the Iran war to keep us out of the Iran war. Okay.
Questions, Peter?
Yes. You just said it is a little excursion, and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. For them, it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought.
Yeah, because this is his cope. His cope is that Kushner and Marco Rubio and all the neocon warmongers convinced him that if they didn't strike Iran right now, Iran was going to start striking us. Sure, buddy. Sure.
Questions, Peter?
Sure, buddy. So yeah, it sounds like he got fucking fooled, bro. I like this guy, Douglas McGregor, retired colonel. He's been, I don't know, the little bit I've seen of him, he seems to know his shit. And yeah, he's not pushing the Trump propaganda around the war. So I don't know. I'm enjoying his takes on
what
this
do you
stuff.
think would happen if right now if America just leaves at this point? If we just declare victory and walk off the field and say we've sunk the Navy, we've degraded the launch capability based on the evidence of the reduced launch frequency, and the Ayatollah Khomeini is not here anymore. So we're out.
Yeah, well, that could easily happen, but it may take another 2 weeks for that to occur because you simply can't win what you set out to win. You can't remove the government. You can't supplant it with something else. You can't stage an internal revolution against it. Iran is going to survive. It's been around for 2,700 years. It's going to survive. The question is, what's Israel going to look like in another 2 weeks? And that's not a good picture right now. And by the way, this business of ground forces, one in four Americans supports the idea of striking anything in Iran. I don't see any support for a draft whatsoever because I've never seen any effort by the president to make the case to the American people.
I think I got a longer one of him because I saw a video last night of him talking about it. And this guy knows his shit. Yeah, okay. Let's see what this is. Colonel McGregor, Iran not running out of missiles. Let's watch this. I like this guy's take on it. I think it's grounded. I think he's realistic, and this guy knows his shit. He's a retired colonel. And I like his name, Douglas McGregor. That's a colonel's name if I've ever seen one, bro. Certain colonels, they just, you got to have a cool name.
The problems that you see because it's all going to.
By the way, what do we have? 40, 50 likes? What do we have? 45 likes. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, it's very much appreciated. If you've not hit the thumbs up, to hit the thumbs up if you can. If you have already, don't worry about it. Very low on the super chats today, so any support is appreciated. It goes a long way to keep me doing a show. So let's do this. Let's go finish it with this Douglas McGregor clip. Let's see what he's got to say.
It'll be over soon.
Defense and foreign policy analyst, former advisor to Secretary of Defense Colonel Douglas McGregor, retired.
There is no evidence for any of that. I don't think the Iranians got the memo because as far as they're concerned, this war is going to continue. And the other point is that despite the fact that most of their air defense capability doesn't exist anymore or it hasn't worked very well, they are able to shoot down what I would call all of the terrestrial ISR platforms. These are manned and unmanned that fly in order to verify, confirm targets on the ground in the perpetual chase to find ballistic missile launching sites. All of those continue to be shot down. That's very important if you're an Iranian because that means it's still very hard for us to find and target everything. And secondly, there's no evidence that the Iranians are running out of missiles. In fact, they've now announced that their ballistic missiles will carry as a minimum 1,000-pound payload. That means 1,000 pounds of explosive up to 2,000 pounds of explosive.
The reality is, to me, the war does not end until you stop the capability of Iran to shoot missiles off at other countries. So Trump can say the war's over, we won, as much as he wants. If Iran's still shooting shit off, it's not over.
In other words, they're not skimping in any way, shape, or form. They are pulling out the stops. And we continue to see tremendous damage inflicted, particularly on Israel, which we don't see very much on television, but it's pretty severe. And the Israelis are
they're trying to hide that shit. They're definitely trying to hide it. They don't want the footage going out of Israel getting hit with missiles.
Shorts, as they say.
And in fact, toward that end, Doug, I don't have General Kane saying it, but I do apparently have President Trump last night. Obviously, he had been briefed by General Kane. Here's what he said with some numbers.
We continue to target Iran's drone and missile capabilities. Their drones are way down. Their drone manufacturing has been hit starting today. We know all of the places they manufacture the drones, and they're being hit one after another. Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe less. We're also hitting where they make missiles and where they deliver missiles. But it's all resulting in a 90% decline in various things, but in particular, Iranian missile launchers, and 83% drop in drone launchers, as you know. The drone launchers are pretty well shot, but we're at over 90% decline in the Iranian missile launchers, which is very hard to reproduce and very hard to get.
Now, that reminded me of something, and you brought it up a second ago, and I wonder if you could comment. From the time you and I were fighting on the ground in Desert Storm, we were preceded by around 38 days of nonstop perpetual bombing from the air. And as you said, there was a daily read off of all this stuff. And yet when you and I got up to the point of contact, we discovered that not as much had been destroyed anywhere near as we thought. Do you think there's anything similar going on here with whatever President Trump is being told by his advisors? What is that translating to, in your opinion, on the ground in Iran?
I don't think that we're having the effect that he's describing. He's still describing, for all intents and purposes, the numbers of weapons, the numbers of aircraft that are being flown. That these kinds of statistics really aren't terribly meaningful. You know, it's sort of in the same category as, well, we killed the supreme leader. And there was an expectation everywhere that killing the supreme leader would lead to some sort of statewide collapse that we could then exploit to compel them to negotiate. Well, that didn't happen. None of the efforts to assassinate the top people have made much difference. On the contrary, we've discovered what we knew before we started, if you had any sense or any experience, and that is that replacements show up. Successors come into power and they exercise authority. I just think that at this point, the administration wants very much to convince everybody that everything is just fine, and this won't last much longer. I think the point we need to make is that no, everything is not just fine. The UAE just shut down the largest oil refinery in the world with no prospect of reopening anytime soon. You have a similar set of circumstances in Qatar. In other words, whatever you say about what you're doing to the Iranians, you have to look at the facts on the ground. Are the Iranians continuing to launch theater ballistic missiles? Yes. Are they continuing to hit targets in Israel and around the Gulf region? Yes. We haven't even talked about eastern Iran, where you have more underground missile cities, none of which have been touched.
Yeah, I was looking for this clip earlier. We'll get back to this, but I mean, look, this is what we're talking about. People are saying, "Oh, Trump didn't betray." Look, this is the Trump I voted for right here.
See, Lindsey Graham just said of your remarks that you made in the Oval Office that if you keep talking like that, quote, this will be a disaster worse than Obama's decision to leave Iraq.
No, Lindsey Graham would like to stay in the Middle East for the next 1,000 years with thousands of soldiers and fighting other people's wars. I want to get out of the Middle East. I think Lindsey should focus right now on judiciary, like the Democrats. The do-nothing Democrats, as I call them, because they're doing nothing. They're getting nothing done. They're not getting USMCA done between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. They're getting nothing done. And I think Lindsey should focus on judiciary. He ought to find out about what happened with Comey, What happened with McCabe, Lisa? What happened with Peter Strzok? What happened with President Obama? What happened with Brennan? That's what Lindsey ought to focus on. That's what the people of South Carolina want him to focus on. The people of South Carolina don't want us to get into a war with Turkey, a NATO member, or with Syria. Let them fight their own wars. They've been fighting for years. Let them fight their own wars. The people of South Carolina want to see those troops come home. And I want an election based on that. And that's the way it is, whether it's good or bad. That's the way it is.
This is not even the clip. There was a clip that passed up where I saw that I forgot the bookmark, where he just goes in so hard on Lindsey Graham. Like, there's never a war he didn't support and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, but this is now all of a sudden, happy birthday to Senator Lindsey Graham. He's always there when I need him. Whenever I'm feeling down, he shows up and just kisses my ass so good. Oh, actually, I'm ready to go to whatever war he wants. Just keep kissing my ass, Lindsey. Fucking Lindsey Graham, bro. What a garbage human being. Complete fucking garbage, dude.
Because frankly, Eastern Iran is out of range for the most part of our weapon systems.
At Cyber
So this
super chatted $4.99. We are in the worst timeline.
Yeah, I don't think you could. Look, I expected to be disappointed with Trump. Okay, but I didn't expect him to go full neocon. This is the worst case scenario. This really is the worst case scenario.
This is not ending anytime soon. But I certainly understand why President Trump said that, because he wants to reassure the markets. But eventually the markets are going to figure this out.
Well, that's exactly where I was going to go next, because that graphic I'm showing here, this is showing that the Gulf nations have slashed output by 6.7 million barrels a day. That's 33% of regional production, for the reason you just mentioned, that the storage is full. And that they can't bring any more out of the ground. But just for everybody's understanding, the way this works is that the system is designed to not have war, so that when they pump stuff out, they put it in a holding tanks for a while. The ships come in empty, they fill them up, they roll out, and it's just this nonstop, whatever, 15, 20 million barrels per day. Well, if all of a sudden you shut down the strait, then there's nothing to offload, and those storage tanks are not made to go for a long period of time. So now the only thing left is to shut down production, and that's going to have longer effects even after the strait gets opened up. But right now, Doug, I haven't seen any evidence that it's going to be.
No, the first thing we need to keep in mind is that roughly 25% of the world's oil is now offline. That's a quarter of the world's oil supply. Now, that is offline not for a few days or for a few weeks. In some cases, it's indefinite. So that's the first thing. 35% of the world's fertilizer is now no longer being shipped. And that too is
dude, you understand, like, what caused a lot of the inflation was shit being locked down, the Strait of Hormuz during the pandemic and all that. We're bringing all of that back without a pandemic, but because of war this time. So everybody that was freaking out about the cost of living, get ready for it to get worse. Do you have room in your budget for it to get worse? I hope you do, because most of us don't.
Vital aspect of our lives that we don't pay a great deal of attention to. You know, natural gas fuels over 40% of U.S. power. Higher gas prices lead to immediate utility bill increases for consumers. So what's this mean? U.S. manufacturers of fertilizers and chemicals face higher feedstock costs. Eventually, we're going to see the price of food and consumer goods rise dramatically. And what about monetary policy? Persistent energy-driven inflation could prevent the Federal Reserve from cutting any interest rates as they previously planned in 2026. So when you go to regions...
They did it the first Trump term. They managed to destroy the beautiful economy that Trump built with the COVID bullshit, and now they're going to destroy it again.
The world, you look at a place like Europe. You know, we went into March 2026 with a very low inventory compared with previous years. Roughly.
You guys don't know who is. This is Colonel Douglas McGregor. And I think he's a very good person to listen to. He knows his shit. Okay. And he's not pushing propaganda. He's speaking to me like real strategy, like real world consequences. What we're really facing, not the Trump, we won, everything's so great, but the reality of like, okay, this is going to lead to this and this and this and this. If that's what you're talking about, I mean, yeah.
46 billion cubic meters of liquefied natural gas, or liquefied gas and global gas. So at the end of February, compared to 60 billion cubic meters in 2025, we have 46 billion. So by February 28th,
it's so weird how badly people want to be blocked in my chat. Like, they start thinking they're blocked and they start celebrating. Like, you're not blocked, Aaron Milligan, okay? Sorry to disappoint you, but you're not blocked, bro. And if fuck Ping, well, fuck you, buddy.
there were reports coming in indicating that LNG, liquefied natural gas, specific storage fell below 30% capacity. In Asia,
Has his Ukraine crap been Garbo? I don't know. I don't follow his Ukraine crap. But I think he's on the money with what he's talking about right now.
the demand rate remains extraordinarily high, particularly in China and India. Each of those countries depends upon 50% of their oil from the Gulf. And even though
Yeah, Nocturnal. I swear to God, people want to be blocked. They think it's like some sort of badge of honor. Oh, I pissed off Pink Trip so bad he blocked me. Is that you're not even blocked, dude. YouTube probably blocked you for, I don't know, using the wrong word or something.
Iran has said if it's a Chinese or Indian ship, you get to go through the Gulf. Well, if you're not refining anything, if you're not extracting anything, if you can't store anything, what does that say about the global supply outlook? So we expected that there would be in 2026 a projected rise of, say, 7% in global LNG supplies, the fastest growth since 2019, driven by new projects in the United States, Canada, and Qatar. Now that's gone. That's out. And everyone is feeling the squeeze. You just go down the list. 100-day buffer as of 2026. China holds 104 to 115 days of net import cover in its strategic petroleum reserve. Targeting the shadow supply, well, by capturing Maduro in Venezuela and striking Iran, the U.S. has effectively shut down the two primary sources of discounted oil that China used. The result, China is now forced to buy more expensive, transparently traded oil from the global market, rapidly depleting its cheap reserves. I guess what I'm trying to get across is we are not feeling the profound impact as quickly as the rest of the world, but it's going to catch up with us. It's going to catch up with us in a big way.
And you mentioned a second ago, Doug, that President Trump has got to be keenly, sharply aware of this, because that's something he actually has always paid attention to. But he's also trying to calm markets. Here he was last night, trying to do exactly that by trying to say this whole oil thing, not a big deal for us.
It affects other countries much more than it does the United States. It doesn't really affect us. We have so much oil. We have tremendous oil and gas, much more than we need.
Bro, it does. Look, we have a cost of living crisis, okay? That is just a fact of life. We have a cost of living crisis. And when energy prices, and one of the things giving us relief was the cost of energy going down. But it hasn't even stayed down long enough for it to really show up, like, in the fucking supply chain yet, because it drags. People are they're real quick to raise prices, but they kick and scream about lowering them because they want to keep that profit margin as high as possible. So yeah, this is obviously going to raise the cost of living for Americans who are already struggling. We already can't afford homes. The food budget is fucking ridiculous. And on top of that, you're taxing us when we're barely trying to get by. So like we have to give money to the government that we need to survive. There's just no way this is not going to have a negative net effect on the Americans' cost of living. There's no way.
We have Venezuela now as our new partner, great partner, and it's a massive source of oil, gas, everything. We're in a very good position, but very unfair to other parts of the world, like China as an example. I mean, we're doing this for the other parts of the world, including countries like China. And we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do.
Now, what if you could talk about that, Doug? Because obviously we do have...
I kind of feel like in this case, we're the fucking lunatics. I'm sorry. But it feels like we might be the lunatics.
Plenty of domestic oil, but oil is a global commodity, which still affects our economy. I wonder if you could explain what the risks are for us.
Well, I think the first thing to understand is that inflation is going to catch up with us. and electricity costs are going to rise. Industrial goods will become more expensive. And our monetary policy is...
Bro, it's insane. Nocturnal Guitar says, oh shit, here in Chicago, I took my friend out for lunch today. We got 2 sandwiches and 2 beers. It was $70 at a regular pub. Nothing fancy. Bro, I was just at a convenience store to get some fucking coffee. $3 for a large coffee. Okay. I mean, coffee should be like 79 cents for a large coffee. Like, are you telling me coffee's that fucking expensive now? I go into the soda section. $4 for a fucking, was it not a 1 liter, but like, you know, the bigger Pepsi's, not the 20 ounce, but the next step up. $3 for the fucking just regular 20 ounce fucking soda, like a Coke. $3 for a soda. What the fuck is going on, bro? I know there's some price gouging going on because companies, they're not stupid. They're like, let's see how far we can push it before people stop buying it. And we've unlocked that. Like, because of goods going up, it's like, oh, let's just see how much people are willing to pay. Chips, everything is fucking ridiculous. You know, it's not pork chops. Thank God for pork chops.
It's going to be constrained.
If you got a tiny budget, you got $20, buy some eggs and some pork chops and you'll live, okay?
You can't cut interest rates in the current setting, the current environment. So I think those 3 things, electricity.
Big arch, $11. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like, you can't even eat out. You can't even eat out, dude.
Costs, industrial goods, monetary policy, all of those will affect us negatively. Now, that may not be felt by the middle of April, but I suspect you'll start feeling it by then.
Bro, I remember when you could go to H-E-B and they'd have, when I was a kid, they'd have those soda vending machines for $0.25. You could get a soda, canned soda for $0.25. I mean, obviously it was the H-E-B brands or whatever. And I mean, thank God for H-E-B because, you know, I'm in Texas, we have H-E-B. I buy H-E-B products. Like, you want to buy Frito-Lays? Fuck it. I could buy the H-E-B version and it's like $3 for a bag of chips as opposed to like $5 or whatever. But thank God H-E-B makes shit locally and it's kind of offsets some of the cost. But imagine living in one of these food deserts. It's got to be tough, man. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are doing the dollar store thing now.
But certainly by the time the summer hits, it's going to get ugly. And this is something that's...
Yeah, and that's the other thing Captain Taint says. When people can't afford to eat, the rich drive. You have to understand the strategy here. This is they're sucking the fucking wealth out of the American people because we hold money. We don't hold assets. Rich people, they're holding on to assets. So when inflation goes up, the value of those assets go up, so they lose nothing. But the regular Americans, their purchasing power gets fucking ripped out from under them. But rich people, they're good. They're good. So once again, who are we looking after? Not looking after the average American, that's for sure.
Going to hurt us badly as a country through the summer and will have profound consequences for the president. And now when
Mikey back, 20-ounce sodas have been $3.50 for a while now. That's a Biden thing. Well, it's a Trump thing now because Trump's president. And when it goes up even higher, good luck blaming Biden for it, bro.
Go overseas, of course. The global...
You can only blame Biden for so long, dude. We're in year 2. It's Trump now. Trump's the guy, okay? And he's going to cause it to go even more. It's going to be $6 for your 20-ounce fucking soda.
Economy and recession are not going to make friends for us. And I think the pressure on us to end this, whatever it takes for us to end this, will be enormous. Now, when I say whatever it takes, I'm not talking about a nuclear weapon, for God's sakes. What I'm saying is that people will say this has got to stop. And if you're desperate because of the impact of all of this, then you may be willing to weigh in on the side of Iran, which I think is going to happen, frankly, particularly when it comes to the Chinese and the Russians.
And in fact, that's actually what I want.
People talking about McDonald's. I don't know if McDonald's still has this deal, but I like the double cheeseburgers from McDonald's. You know, I grew up on those motherfuckers. You used to get them for 99 cents. You could go for $2. I remember they used to have like large Cokes for 99 cents. For like $2, you get a double cheeseburger and a fucking large Coke. And like another $1 for small fries or whatever. Like you could eat off change. Like you could literally go grab change from your car and go grab lunch. That's gone. But they still have a deal on them. It's like, they're like, I forget how much they are, but it's like, it's buy one, get one, I think, or I forgot what it was. But yeah, if you buy more than one double cheeseburger, I think it's like $2.50 a piece.
I want to talk about next because first of all, despite Trump's calm words there to try and make the markets calm, can work on just American Joe Q public that watches on TV. It's not going to work for the people who really understand what's going on. But I think Trump's real terrifying and fear of all what's going on and his anger.
Aaron Milligan, the problem with the tax the rich thing is it never stops with the rich. Okay? It's when they first brought in the income tax, I forget if it's 1906 or 1913. I don't know. I confused the 2 years. I think it was 1913 when they initiated the income tax, right? Before that, we never had an income tax. We fought wars over income taxes. And in 1913, they brought it, and the whole argument was this is a wealth tax. Essentially, we're only going to tax the 1%, you know, the fucking barons who are like eating up all the wealth. In the first year, you had to make over 100,000 to qualify for an income tax. And in 1913, you know, that meant literally nobody paid income tax except for the uber wealthy. How long do you think that lasted? Not very long, because the goal is always you have to, like, if you're looking at stealing money, which is essentially what they're doing, siphoning money from the economy so that they can fund their lavish lifestyles and start their fucking wars and blah, 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 blah. The money is in the middle and lower class. That's where most of the pool of money is. So they always sell it as we're going to tax the rich. And then it always ends up being the middle class and the lower class that bear the burden of the income tax every single time. But they sell it to you as we're just gonna tax the rich. It's just a tax on the rich people. What you do, the way to solve it is to go back to what our founding fathers wanted, which is no fucking income tax on anybody. And if you could trust the government to only income tax the billionaires, I'd be fine with that. But you can't trust them. They're always gonna fucking push it further and further and further. The real solution is you go, hey, government, fuck you. You need to be 1,000,000 times smaller. And one way to do that is to basically take away all this money you're stealing from people. And by the way, it's fucking slavery. It is. It's slavery when you have to work for the government and give them your fucking wages, bro. That's slavery. And it's not what this country was founded on. And the solution, you know, is a small, very small federal government that needs so little to function that it can do it without having to tax the fuck out of everybody. Because we are monetarily sovereign. If we had a responsible government, we could print money responsibly in line with growth, in line with GDP growth, and fund the government off of that. But no, it becomes a bloated fucking pig, and then they start robbing us because that's what they do. They're not there to serve us anymore. They're there to fucking rob us. And that's how you put a stop to it. Tax the rich sounds great, but it never stops with taxing the rich. It ends up being what we're dealing with now, which is people living paycheck to paycheck, having to figure out how am I going to fucking survive when I got to pay the IRS all this money that I actually need to put food on the table. And that's where it always leads.
Really showed up after he made those comments when he posted this on Truth Social, to where he's just kind of going over the top to warn Iran and anyone else that if Iran does anything that stops the flow of oil within the Strait of Hormuz, which, as you pointed out, is already the case, they will be hit harder by the United States, 20 times harder than they've been hit thus far. Additionally, we will take out easily destroyable targets that will make it virtually impossible for Iran to ever be rebuilt back as a nation. And then he goes on to talk about that. And, you know, we better keep the Strait of Hormuz open. This tells me that he is aware of how critical this is, and he's trying to use words to coerce the opening of the strait. But the question is, will that work? Is that going to coerce Iran to open the straits?
No, not at all. In fact, right now, I think from the Iranian perspective,
I mean, tax the rich sounds good. It sounds good, right? You just have to understand that's the lie that they initially sold us that got us in the situation we're in. Because that's how the income tax was sold, as a wealth tax. No, don't worry about average workers are never going to see an income tax, you know, that's actually what it was in the first year. It was anybody over 100,000. That's the only people that had to be income tax. But they always knew when they did that eventually they would be able to slowly move to fucking taxing the fuck out of poor people, which is where we're at now. Middle class, well, not poor, but you know what I'm saying. People just living paycheck to paycheck. So yeah, and then they came up with a brilliant solution because people are like, oh, this sucks. And they're like, you know what we could do? We can take the money out before they even get it. And they're not even going to realize and feel like they're being taxed. And that's where we're at now, where you don't even realize how much money they're taking from you because it never hits your bank account. That's why people that are self-employed like me, we understand how bad it is because we have to actually take money out of our bank account and send it to the IRS. regular people just never even fucking feel it because they never saw the money. So they don't even feel like they're being taxed. And then they get a return. So like, oh, the government's giving me money. It's such a good con. It's such a good con they're pulling off.
They are being told either you submit unconditionally to what the Israelis demand. That's important to understand because the demands that President Trump has been making are not his. They never were. They are Israeli demands. So what are they? No enrichment of any kind. You effectively have to dismantle your...
Aaron, that's a very leftist take where I don't want to tax the rich because I think I'm going to be rich. And I don't want to be taxed when I'm rich. No, bro. Did you listen to what I just said? Go look up the history of the income tax, okay? Look up the first year it was brought in. It was a wealth tax. They sold it as only taxing the rich. Is that where we're at right now? Is that where we're at? If we were still there, I mean, even if it was the same as 1913 and people didn't have to pay income tax until after they earned $100,000 a year, that would be fucking great. I would love that. Please bring that back. But that's not where we're at because that was never the goal. That was never the goal. They sell you on that shit and then it ends up being us, regular people, living paycheck to paycheck who have to carry the burden of the income tax.
Ballistic missile inventory so that you can pose no threat under any circumstances to Israel, and you can't have any friends or allies in the region with whom you cooperate. The Iranians are not going to do that. They're not going to surrender, and they know what surrender means. So frankly speaking, I think they're in the mode of it's better to live on your knees than die standing up. So I don't see any evidence that what President Trump is saying will happen. The other point is that he was complaining earlier that these ship captains that are responsible for these tankers are gutless.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Stop being pussies, bro. Stop being pussies.
Why doesn't someone try to force their way through the Straits of Hormuz? I guess he doesn't understand the insurance industry. You can't insure anything that tries to go through the Straits. They're not going to insure something they know will be sunk. And if there's one thing we can absolutely guarantee is that anything that tries to go through those straits that the Iranians don't want to go through will in fact be sunk. They have extensive weapon systems, missiles dug into the cliffs, ready to go in, ready to go out and sink whatever is threatening the integrity of the Gulf. So I just don't see how he's going to achieve what he wants by simply doubling down on what I think is already a failed strategy, especially since it's not necessary for us.
Secretary Hegseth this morning also commented on that, but for all of his declaration and all of his, tough rhetoric and stuff, this sounds kind of soft and tepid to me on Hormuz. What do you think?
He takes very seriously the condition of that straits. We have capabilities that no other nation on earth has, and we're certainly working with our energy partners across the administration to control for that. That's part of that scoping of this. The world needs to understand this doesn't have, this isn't intended to be, nor is it something that will expand. We know exactly what we're attempting to achieve here, scoped properly, and the American people can count on that for sure.
Do you think really that we know what we're doing and scope properly? We can count on that. What say you, Doug?
Well, I've never heard of a war that was carefully scoped. And if you go back to 1965 and come forward, we have scoped wars, as he says. In other words, we've imposed limitations on ourselves, or we've tried to emphasize one thing or the other. But with the exception of Desert Storm, where we employed a very large ground force that could have easily crossed the river and marched on Baghdad had it wanted to, we haven't had much success. You can
so 3,000. So in 1913, 3,000
blow things up, and again,
someone brought up the number exemption thresholds for 1913: 3,000 for single individuals, 4,000 for married couples. Okay, but you have to do the math of what that equals in today's money. These exemptions were very high for the area, equivalent to roughly 90 to 120,000 in today's dollars. Okay? As a result, only about 1 to 3% of the U.S. population, mostly the wealthy, owed any federal income tax initially. I might have said it wrong, but yeah, it's equal to like earning 100,000 a year right now. Okay? It was definitely sold as a tax on the wealthy. And that did not last very long at all. It never does. It never does. And it's been proven throughout history.
Explosions on the ground How do I put this? They're very seductive. You see the giant explosion and you're absolutely convinced that what you did made a difference. That's not
even if you made even then the tax was super fucking low. Like if you made over 500,000, about 16 million in today's dollars, you were still only taxed at like 6 to 7%.
necessarily true. The other thing is this has become extraordinarily expensive. I think it was $5.4 billion were spent just in the first 24 to 36 hours, thanks to the intensity of our airstrikes and our use of all these precision-guided weapons. The Kosovo air campaign, which lasted 78 days back in 1999, only cost at the time $4 billion. Did $6 billion worth of damage, but it only cost us $4 billion. What is this costing? Do some work with adjusting dollars, and if you keep this up, I don't know that $50 billion as a supplement will be enough to cover it all. And again, why are we doing this? What is this going to do for us? How is our security enhanced? It's not. We're making enemies everywhere, at a very high.
Yeah, this is a fucking counter. Estimated U.S. costs and strikes began. That's a big number. 6 days. That's in 6 fucking days, bro. We just have endless money, guys. Yeah, our economy's great, and we can just afford to just spend it on whatever we want. Because Americans are so great. We're so fucking doing so wonderful right now. It's not like we have problems in this country that need to be addressed. No, let's just worry about every foreign fucking bullshit thing that doesn't really affect us. While life gets worse and worse for Americans. That's great.
And let's just take a look at what the options are for President Trump, because obviously this is President Trump clearly feels the pressure. He's got to get that straight back open. He's got to get the oil flowing because of the ramifications that has domestically on his electoral chances coming into the midterm. He talked about that yesterday too with Republicans about their strategy going into the midterms, which didn't include a lot of higher priced oil. So what's he going to do? Now, there are also those, and I this is an American we're about to show you here, but I really think this is more like on the Israeli side about not getting weak-kneed and not stopping this war, because Trump talking about this is going to be over soon and we're winning anyway, and Hegseth's saying that at the top here. I think that there are those in Israel who are afraid, hang on, I don't want you guys to get weak-kneed and come to an end like you did 12 days into the last war here. And here is Jack Keane warning against stopping the war.
Are we really saying that we cannot accept several weeks of oil prices maybe being higher than what they should be to take Iran off the map as a predator in the Middle East for decades to come? Is that what we're really saying? That we're so preoccupied with that we're not willing to make that kind of a sacrifice here? I think not. I mean, I think we got to open our eyes, get a little clear-eyed about what is really happening here. And if we fall prey to walking.
Is that what it is? Every 20 years we can fall for this? Is that what it is? Like, you run this fucking scam that, scare everybody that we have to go to war because everything's so dangerous about some boogeyman that is across the other side of the world that you wouldn't even think about unless these fuckers come on and go, oh, scare you, scare you, scare you. Is that what it takes? Every 20 years they can just rerun that same strategy and we fall for it? Are we that retarded as a fucking country? Do we have that short of a fucking memory in this country? Do we not fucking know anything about our history? Probably not. We are all retards, by the way. That's probably what it is. Every 20 years, they can just do it.
Prematurely over oil prices, we've just given Iran a win. They certainly want that.
Well, that's a great point.
I think we're much tougher than that.
Yeah, I don't know about.
They're going to keep pushing till boots on the ground. You watch.
Tougher, but let's look at the premise of what he's saying, Doug. And that militarily, he's saying, are we going to walk away from a chance to take Iran off the map? So that's saying that with the naval and air power we have arrayed throughout the region, we can, if we just keep going, take them off the map with no ground force, nobody on the ground at all. Is that really possible?
I've said from the very beginning that we have enough firepower in the Air Force and the Navy to destroy Iran. I don't think there's any question about that. You can destroy everything. If it doesn't move, if it's a building, if it sits still, you can strike it. And that's the kind of thing that the airmen become involved with. They start running out of militarily attainable objectives, and so they just destroy everything that's in sight. Yeah, I think we can do that. Now, will that cause the disintegration of Iranian society? Will that cause the state itself to collapse, which seems to be the underlying hope, if not assumption. I don't know. I don't think so. And I don't think that the world week after week after week will stand by and watch and do nothing. That's been my contention from the beginning, because it was always clear to me this was never going to be over in a few days. It's going to take time. And I don't think we're going to get what we want, because remember, how does Iran win? It survives. So effectively, what General Keane is insisting is we can exterminate this country. In other words, we can kill enough people, do enough damage that Iran as a nation state no longer exists. And he equates that with success, and he sees that as a positive development for the world. I don't. I never have. I'm not interested in seeing any country anywhere in the world destroyed for vanity or for any other purpose, or for Israel's interests or anyone else's, because we have no interest in that. We really don't. We're not interested in the damage we're doing to ourselves economically and financially. And that damage has just begun. And that's the point that we've been trying to get across to people. Eventually it'll hit. You know, the guy that comes home at night and says, I'm going down to the 7-Eleven, get a 6-pack of beer and a pack of cigarettes, and then I'll be back and watch the game. His life is going to be disrupted. Not the billionaires. We know the billionaires will go on being billionaires. But his life, the average American's life, will be disrupted. So no, I think it's a terrible goal. It doesn't make military sense. It's not politically useful to us or economically useful to anybody. But that's where we're headed.
I like that guy, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's. I know I've seen him before, probably on Fox News or something. But yeah, he seems to. I think he's. I mean, I agree, honestly, with almost everything he's saying there. It's going to be ugly. I don't know, boys. How's everybody doing, though, in the chat? You guys doing good? We're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. There's nothing to worry about, guys. Everything's going to be fine. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. We're fine. Prices are going to be fine. You'll figure it out. You'll find a way. You'll find a way to get a cheeseburger for $20. You know, you just have to give up drinking soda. Everybody's going to be on the pork chop diet. Bro, we're fucked if the cost of pork starts going up, because, I mean, that's my safety net, bro. The fucking pork chop diet. It's all a game. I'll bet you we'll be out in 2 weeks. We'll see. 1984, we'll see. I mean, if we get out in 2 weeks, like, what have we accomplished? If the regime still stands and they just replace people, the people that are going to be, the new people that are going to come in are going to be more radical, and they're going to be out for revenge. You know, you usually can't do things like this and just walk away and everybody's like, okay, we're done. No, Iran's going to be out for revenge, and they're probably going to keep shooting shit. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I would like for it to be over in 2 weeks, but then I'm going to look at it and go, what did we accomplish? What the fuck did we accomplish? Just the cost of goods going up for Americans? That's what we accomplished? We'll see, man. We'll see. I'd rather be out in 2 weeks than to keep dragging on until it becomes we got to have boots on the ground. They're never going to give up until we go take the land. And then now we got a bunch of soldiers. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This is just a quagmire that should have never started. It was so easily avoidable. If Trump just stopped listening to idiots, we could avoid this. But he doesn't. He puts idiots all around him. All the people he talked shit about when he ran and called him out for being warmongers and had all the right takes, somehow he put all those people close to him, and that's who he listens to now. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I wish I could find the Lindsey Graham clip, because he used to go in hard on Lindsey Graham. And now Lindsey Graham and him are best boys. Lindsey Graham's running around trying to do deals, acting like he's the fucking president. Talking about Saudi Arabia, if you help out, we'll guarantee defense. If anybody ever attacks you, we'll go to war for you. It's like, you're not the president, Lindsey Graham, but he's talking like he's the fucking president. It's weird. It's weird. And yeah, I mean, let's just stop it now. I don't give a fuck. Let's just stop it before it gets even worse. But I don't see that happening. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. But I see this dragging out and getting really ugly. He is an idiot, though, Trump. Yeah. You remind me of the crayons I used to eat. You talk about Captain Tate. That's funny, St. Onion. You shouldn't eat crayons, though, dude. You shouldn't eat crayons. I'm sure you were a young child when you were eating crayons. I never ate a crayon. I used to have friends, they would like eat, I mean, kindergarten age, like young, like they'd eat the glue and they'd fucking put the glue all over their hands. And yeah, I was never one of those types. Never one of those types. When I was young, I almost died choking on a piece of bacon. I remember taking a piece of bacon. I have a very vivid memory of it. I guess I was too young to understand. You got to chew it. And I tried to swallow it and it was like, oh, and I'm sitting there and my brother saved my life. One of the only few things my brother ever did for me. Thank you. Thank you. He reached in and pulled the slice of bacon out of my throat. But ever since then, I've had like an instinct of like just careful about what I put in my mouth and when I swallow, like I don't ever want to choke. This is the worst way to die, dude. You're sitting there eating a sandwich and you just, you're alone watching some movie or something and you take a bite of a sandwich and next thing you know, and you just die right there from your fucking sandwich. What a meaningless way to die. I want to die in a meaningful way, I don't want to die in some meaningless bullshit, choking on some fucking sandwich or some Doritos or some bacon or something. We'll all be eating crayons and glue for dinner soon. How many calories, bro? I don't know if there's calories in it. I mean, fuck, Russia, they used to, when it got real bad, like they would tear down the wallpaper and use the glue in the walls to make soup out of it. There's all kinds of stories of like grandmas, like women used to have to be careful because like there's this one story my dad always tells. I don't know how true it is, but like this woman would like go to visit her mom and her mom would always go up to her like baby and be like, ooh, such chubby cheeks. And like there was a legitimate fear that her mom was going to actually eat her baby. Like that's how much everybody was starving. And yeah, when people are starving, they'll eat you. They'll eat you before they eat glue. So yeah. Are crayons keto friendly? I imagine they are. I don't know if they're friendly in every other way, but I imagine the carbs are pretty low in crayons. My stepmom watched me choke on some chicken that same way, Ping. She was a bitch. I hope she helped you. Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah. Watching your kid die as he's choking on chicken. I mean, I'm glad you didn't die from choking on chicken. That's not a good way to go. Not a good way to go. I've forgotten more than you have known. Okay, no, 1984. He's high level information from 1984. I'll eat your ass, Alex Jones. I had to save some from choking on a hot dog a decade ago. Yeah, the hot dogs are the worst because they like perfectly fit. They're like perfect for like jamming in your throat, like a dick. Yeah, hot dogs you got to be careful with. You just chew your food, bro. Just, chew your food. That's it. Be careful. Chew it real good. And, yeah. I don't know. It is kind of scary, though, just thinking, like, it changes the way you eat. If you've ever had a choking incident, you're just like, okay, this is not games. This is not fun and games. Eating is serious business. I could die if I do it wrong. Many stories in Mexican families of people choking on fish bones. Oh, yeah. Yeah, bones are dangerous. That's what she said. Pink Trip, pause. Glizzy Goblins at it again. Who the fuck swallow hot dogs? Gay. Yeah, hot dogs are gay. That's why I only eat hot dogs once a week. Okay, keeps the gayness down. My cousin choked on a Lifesaver candy once. Yes, that can do it too. Ping loves footlong sausage. I mean, yeah, sausage is not bad. My favorite sausage is boudin. I love some fucking boudin. And anytime I'm in Louisiana, I stock up on the boudin. The greatest sausage ever made. Stop it. Get some help. I can eat 5 hot dogs without chewing. That's the thing that freaks me out when you see those like speed eaters and they're just like and they're just like forcing it down their throat. I'm like, how do they not choke? That's an art, just like shoving food down your throat without choking on it. And I need to understand how choking works because it's like, is it that it goes down the wrong pipe and blocks the air? Because there's like 2 pipes, right? Like the one, like whenever you swallow something, the one that like air goes down closes and the one food goes down is open. So how does it, like, it's got to get down the air tube. It's like, I don't know. That's so weird. Trump ate brats? Brat sausages? In order to spell Wednesday, I have to say Wednesday in my head and spell it individually every time. Yeah, I've gotten through that. I fuck up on Tuesday all the time. Like the U and the E, I get those reversed. Tuesday's a bitch, bro. Joey Chestnut is the last true American. Well, it's crazy how they fucking just shove hot dogs down their throat. You know, bread and all. And they're just, it's like, seems like risky. I wonder if they have like people ready to go, like you know, paramedics ready for anybody to choke. You should in a situation like that, because I'm sure, I don't know, I've never heard any news about it, but I'm sure people have choked doing that before. If not, then I don't know what their secrets are. I used to watch the Iraq War on TV. Yeah. I lived through both of them. I remember the first one, watching it with my uncle, and the news reports. It was just like we just wiped them out. It was made it seem like we were invincible. The first Iraq invasion over Kuwait, and the second one kind of woke us up. Though we're not. You know, the thing is, you can have the strongest military in the world, but there's tactics that work against fighting when you're outmatched militarily. You know, guerrilla warfare. I mean, they call it terrorism, but there's another word for it. But really, what terrorism is warfare, right? So if you have the most powerful military in the world, other people can't compete with that. They can't stand and fight against that military. So they have to do, you know, terrorism. That's how you fight back when you're outmatched. There's an actual like technical term for it. I forget what it's called, but yeah, we're probably going to see an uptick of that shit for sure here in America. I fought my ex-wife vibes. What? Sounds like you enjoyed it, big guy. I choked on a hot dog for 5 minutes. That's a long time to be choking on a hot dog. I'm glad you're still alive, Aaron Milligan, because yeah, it sounds like you know, pretty close to dying if you choked for 5 fucking minutes, bro. Saint Onion, yeah, I'm dyslexic. I just can't see it out in my head, so I got to do it step by step. Yeah, shout out to the dyslexics out there. My father's dyslexic as well. He had a hard time growing up. Like, he's a really intelligent guy, but he's older where they didn't really know how to work with dyslexia. And I think there is something where he's getting older and it's making his dyslexia worse. Like, so yeah. Shout out to the dyslexics out there. We're on your side.
At L_Yeffer-67 super chatted $10. Great stream ping. Love you, brother. Have a great night.
You too,
Play
brother. Love you
Remix
too.
Bros. Trump State of the Union 2026.
Okay. Remix Bros are dope. You always suggest these guys. Like every video I've seen, there's always good. So we'll do it. Thank you, Jefe, for the $10. Let me pull it up. Why is America losing the war with Iran? Okay. Sorry, just a lot of Iran war videos in my feed. Trump State of the Union 2026, winning too much. Is that the one? No, it's not. You said 2016, right? Bro, it's not even pulling it up. Let me see. Trump State of the Union 2026. Okay. Trump State of the Union 2026. I guess this has got to be it right here. Jesus Christ, the way it starts, Trump's face is... You could tell this guy's... He's... We gotta stop electing people going into their fucking 80s, dude. We gotta stop doing it. Anyway, here it is. As recommended by the man El Jefe. Thank you, El Jefe. Let's watch this. This is the Remix Bros. 9 days ago, 14K views. They obviously deserve more views.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. Please, we're winning too much. We really don't know what to do. We're winning too much. We can't take it anymore.
This was the cringiest part of the whole fucking State of the Union. It felt forced. It felt like he didn't even believe it. And it's one of his greatest lines of the past is now just like, it's cringe. It's cringe.
Please, we're winning too much. We're not used to winning in our country. And I say, no, no, no. You're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. They were all talk and no action, but I got it done. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? Our nation is back. Bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. Nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. Please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. Please, we're winning too much. We really don't know what to do. We're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. Please, we're winning too much. We're not used to winning in our country. For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. We are doing really well. And we are going to keep it that way. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. The hottest. Nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. Please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore.
Bro, I wish we could get back to just that was the big discussion over fucking deportations and ICE protests. We thought that was bad. We had it made. We had it made. Little did we know Trump was going to go full fucking neocon warmonger on us.
Please, we're winning too much. We really don't know what to do. We're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. Please, we're winning too much. We're not used to winning in our country.
Now listen, if you have not...
So they're still going, man. Fighting against this algorithm, bro. I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, they got, I mean, a little less than me, but it's rough, bro. I've been seeing so many people complaining about views on YouTube lately. I don't know what they did. This algorithm is just garbage, or maybe just less people are using YouTube because the algorithm is so garbage. Because, like, for me, the algorithm sometimes is just so bad, dude. It's just so bad. And I think a lot of people are just kind of like, I don't know if they're spending more time on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. There's this funny video of this guy. He did. I wish I would have saved it. It's like a little sketch of like what happens, like how it is trying to watch a movie now after getting hooked on like Instagram Reels and shit. And it's like the guy turns it on and you see like the little fucking lion roar, you know, the little beginning of the movie, and he's like, I give up. It's like you have 1 second. If I'm bored in 1 second, I'm done. I'm out. But yeah, man, YouTube's just so fucking weird lately, bro. And did we make the fucking cut in the WBC? I didn't even see what the results were. Italy beats Mexico. Yeah, we're in. Mexico lost to Italy, bro. Sorry for you guys that don't care about sports, but I do. I love baseball. It's crazy, dude, that we lost to fucking Italy. And you're like, Italy? They don't even play baseball in Italy. And then you realize, oh, the WBC is literally letting anybody with an Italian last name play for Italy. They're all Americans. Italy's team is literally everybody who's born in America. And like the rules are so fucking loose, right? Like you have an Italian name and like you can play for Italy. So essentially, like America lost. Italy is like the second American team. It's just all Americans with Italian last names. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I just would like to, maybe in the future, some of these countries will get more interested in baseball and they can actually they can actually play a team of actual Italians rather than Americans with Italian last names. All right, guys. Yeah, we're about 2 hours over. So yeah, we had fun. Been a fun show. Sorry for being real late tonight, but you know, it's better later than never, right? That's what they say. Better late than never. So much love. Smash the thumbs up on the way out. It's much appreciated. Links are in the description. If you want to support the show, it's much appreciated. Also the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, follow the second channel, all that good stuff. And we'll see you back later this week. Much love, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful night. Okay. Take care.
Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Here's some other videos to watch that you might like or you might not. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified.